Hello you fans, Matarans here, and welcome to an updated deck profile for zombies, now including the Shiranui archetype, which is a new fire attribute zombie type, which is based on Synchros, and the Synchros are decent, they're not the best. This one seems to be the best one out of the two, because this one is slightly lackluster, requires being destroyed to gain a good effect. And on Salvation it has a weird image for that. It's I believe that's the Night of Twilight or Darkness. So yeah, that isn't synced up right. But the archetype is nice. They've got a searcher that's just coming out. It's not on Salvation server right now. Will probably be up in next day or two, or by the time it's actually on published. So yeah, it's like a specific goblin zombie, adding any of the Shiranui archetype to their hand. So that's nice, but it's probably not going to give me as much plus as a Goblin Zombie would. So yeah, without further ado, let's go into the deck profile. So I'm using 2 Zombie Masters. 3 does clog in experience. So 2 Zombie Masters is crucial for this deck. No less than 2, but when it goes to 3, it can clog at that time. You send a monster card from your hand to the graveyard to resurrect a level 4 or lower zombie type in either player's graveyard. So if you've got Zombie World out on the field, you can reborn your opponent's level 4 or lower monsters, but it's highly likely you would because it's only level 4 or lower. So yeah, but if you change the Book of Moon to this, it does stop it, or like if you did to a Mature Beast and it was successful. So yeah, that's a once per turn effect, and you have to it's requiring you to actually have a zombie in the graveyard to activate this effect. So you can't just discard a zombie and then resurrect that zombie if you have no other zombies in the graveyard. So yeah, just for clarification. Then we've got 2 Tristans. Originally, when the zombies support come out, nobody was really liking it because they were just too hard to do, and the fact that Zombie Steen is not legal in the TCG in Europe, and so is not Lancelot. So there was only 2 real targets, which were Pilgrim Reaper and Vampire Ram. So it wasn't very effective, but now it's somewhat nicer. The combo is quite nice, and they're still not legal, but I'm having a lot of fun playing them. So yeah, Tristan. Its effect is when it's normal summoned, you can target a zombie in your graveyard with 0 defense and add it to your hand. And if you control another zombie type, this monster's attack becomes 2100 because it gains 300 attack. So that's a decent effect. You can add your Izadella back, which is the only way to get moved from the graveyard. But you can also target a Zombie Master. You can't target any of these guys. You can target your Uni-Zombie, and you can target any of the Shiranui. I believe the other one is also 0 defense, so that should work with it. And it just gives you a little bit of synergy there. It's a nice 1800 beta as well. Next is Triple Mizuki, staple in any zombie deck. Banish it from your graveyard to resurrect a zombie in your graveyard. And if you got Zombie World on your field, you may be able to reborn some of your Synchros that you lost, like Beals or Void Ogre, or any of those other ones that have been now turned into a zombie type. So yeah, Mizuki is amazing, and there are ways to resupply it with cards like Shuten Doji, and also there was the new I think the new Synchro one does it as well. You tag one of your banished zombie types with 0 defense and put it back in the deck, I believe, or add it to your hand. Return to the graveyard. So yeah, it returns to the graveyard. You can reuse your Mizukis that way. And Burial is also the best card to go with it. Burial in your opening hand plus a Uni-Zombie can set up a chain of plays that will eventually get all 3 Mizukis in the banishment zone, and then you'll be able to use the Burial to add them all back to your graveyard and go into massive Synchro plays or massive Exceed plays. So yeah, that is very good, and Mizuki has always been a staple in zombies. Next is 2 Shuten Doji to resupply my deck with banished zombies and to draw cards through banishment of those zombies, which can have some synergy if you're going to be using the Katagami Shiranui which gains a 500 attack on one of your monsters when it's banished. So it has some form of plays there. You can also do it with Necroface, which can start to deck out your opponent when it's banished, because both players banish the top 5 cards of their deck. So that can be nice as well. You can work with that, but in this deck, it's more to resupply your Mizukis. Next is Triple Goblin Zombie, another staple for zombie decks. When it inflicts battle damage, the top card of their opponent's deck goes to the graveyard, and when it's sent to the graveyard, the mandatory effect is to add one zombie type with 1200 defense or less to your hand. All of these zombies have that defense or lower, so that is the applicability of all those being able to be searched. So Goblin Zombie is amazing in that fact. This is why the new Shiranui blacksmith is not as effective, because Goblin Zombie can target more or less any zombie now, so it's not needed right now. So yeah, Goblin Zombie is good, but never use it when you synchro for a Voidogre, because you're gonna have a monetary effect and you're gonna lose some Voidogre's protection. So yeah, it's a staple card in the deck. Next, 2 Izadella to work with Tristan, but can work with any zombie type as long as your opponent didn't get rid of them. That's why there's a lot of back row that can protect my monsters. Izadella can change the levels of 2 zombie type monsters you control from level 5 from the normal levels to 5, 6, 7, or 8. There is no level 7 zombie type that I know of. There is a level 5 is Van Bram. There is a level 6 called Pilgrim Reaper, but this is not in deck. And 2 level 8 are Lancelot and Zombie Steen. Izadella is very good, but she has restrictions, which means you can't for the rest of the turn special summon monsters except from zombie types. And also you can't get her back from the graveyard without adding her back through Tristan, or some kind of add back to the hand, because you can't special summon her by any way of her way. So she has restrictions, but starting off with those 2 is very, very good. Next, Triple Uni-Zombie. This is the second card that makes the deck. Mizuki is the first, and Uni-Zombie is the second. This is your main engine. It's absolutely brilliant in the deck. Has 2 effects, which you can use both effects in the same turn. The first effect is to target one face-up monster on the field. Doesn't have to be your own, so you can target, for example, Burning Abyss. Target one of their monsters, make it level 4, useless for any other properties now, and you can then discard a card from your hand. So it doesn't have to be a monster like a Zombie Master. So we can get cards like Shiranui, Plague Spreader, and Mizuki into the graveyard very efficiently. And the second effect is the best effect, which is Foolish Burial for the deck. You can target one face-up monster on the field. Monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn except from zombie types, which is the main restrictions to this card. And then you can increase that monster's level by 1 by sending a zombie type from your deck to the graveyard. The most likely candidate will be Mizuki, unless you want to set up the graveyard with stuff like Izadella to combo with Tristan, set up with one of the Shiranuis, which is Yuto, and also set up Golden Zombie if you have not got one already out. So it has a lot of viability in this deck. And with the new Synchro zombies and Exceed zombies, the restriction on its attacking is less effective, and it's only for the rest of the turn, so it doesn't stop your battle phase. You could use this in main phase 2. But there is a way of counteracting that when man's still going to something like Beagles and attacking, and that is Zombie World, but I'll go into that a bit later. Next, 2 Shiranui and 1 Plague Spreader. Plague Spreader used to be more effective in this deck, but it's not as crucial in this deck anymore. We have this new Shiranui. Shiranui can banish itself from the graveyard with a non-tuner zombie type, and then you can special summon a zombie type with the level combined of those 2 monsters. It's regardless of tuner, so we can access Archfiend Zombie Skull and any of the Synchro zombie we like. There's only 2 ones I'm using except from Zombie School, but there is also Revived King Hades and Doom Kaiser Dragon, which you could also go into with this card. It is a very nice card, but you have to get into the graveyard, and you can't do it on the turn it is sent to the graveyard. So you can set up with Uni-Zombie and then pass the turn, say you do use Pot Duality, and you'll have a play for next turn. Apparently, Plague Spread is only at 1 because the actual places it was taking are replaced by Shiranui, but I still need 1 Plague Spreader just to see if I can go back into Abeles from limited access. So yeah, that's the monster lineup. Next, 2 Book of Life, because Book of Life is good to banish monsters from your opponent's graveyard to resurrect your own monsters. And Call the Haunted isn't as effective in this deck. This is you're gonna go for Synchro plays, so you don't really want to summon them on your opponent's turn or wait. So Book of Life is always a nice option for this deck. One of the best generic zombie cards in existence. Next, 1 Regeki. Everyone knows what Regeki does. And Dragon's Mirror. Dragon Mirror is my tech for this deck, which is to bring out Dragon Necro and Never Soul Dragon. It's an amazing fusion monster, which I'll get into later. The Dragon's Mirror only needs to summon a dragon monster. Dragon Necro is that, and it requires zombie types. So Dragon's Mirror can effectively use this, and you can counteract the badness of this card because it banishes to fusion summon with Burial from a different dimension, or you can use the new Shiranui's destruction effect. So yeah, there are ways of counteracting that, and also shooting Doji. Next, 1 Foolish Burial. That's simple, everyone knows that. And Burial, as I've been saying all this time, resupplies your graveyard with your Mizukis or whatever you need, and it's just amazing. Wish it was at 2. And then put 2 Pot Dualities. This is to increase consistency in the deck. I could go for Upstart, but I'd rather have an option. Get some back row when I'm lacking it, or set up with Uni-Zombie. Usually turn 1, Uni-Zombie and Pot Duality is a great combo, or Tristan and Izadella. It's a great combo to go for. And then 2 Zombie Worlds. No Terraformings because my deck is not reliant on Zombie World anymore. So having Zombie World is a nice way of playing. It can downside the badness of Uni-Zombie. And it can also restrict a lot of things because with Monarchs being more potent in the meta in the OCG, we're going to see a lot on Salvation. So this is actually a very good counteracting card because neither player can tribute summon monsters except for zombie types. That restricts more or less all the zombies all the Monarchs that there is except from the new Neverworld zombie monster. And also can restrict things that are requiring types because they turn into zombie types. So, for example, Fire Fist, they want to be Beast Warriors. This limits that. Onto the trap lineup, 1 Bottom's Trap Ball is staple in any pendulum environment. Same for Solemn Warning. Triple Mirror Force to keep my board alive. 1 Torrential because it's torrential. Vanity's Emptiness, always played, and Fiendish Chain. I had options to go for Veiler, Forbidden Chalice, Fiendish Chain, or Breakthrough Skill, and because I want to have some defense, I've gone for Fiendish Chain for this deck, just so my monsters don't die on the first turn, and I can set up for later. So yeah, that's the main deck. On the extra deck, I run 1 fusion monster, which is Dragon Necro, Never Soul Dragon, an amazing fusion monster, very underrated. It requires 2 zombie types, 2 of any, and it's a dragon type itself, so it's a bit weird. And any monster that is battling with this is not destroyed by battle with this card. It can't destroy monsters by battle. But in a plus from that, at the end of the damage step, when it has battled a monster that has an original level, so Exceed monsters are nullified by this. They'll still lose what they lose, but they won't get a token from this because it reduces that monster's attack to 0 and then special summon a token if it's still face up on the field. So that's good. If you attack into a Exceed monster, you're just going to reduce its attack to 0, nothing else will happen. But if you attack something like Beals, you reduce its attack to 0 and then you get a token of that level, of that attack and defense, and that gives you further access for synchro plays. You can only control one Dragon Necro, and I only run one because the handicap to bring out is not going to be justified for two. Next, onto synchros. 2 Beals, mandatory, amazing card, hard for some opponents to get over, and just amazing. Everyone knows what Beals does, so I don't need to go any further. Next, Void Ogre Dragon, very powerful card as well, and it is alright and easy enough to get to know cards in your hand, but there hasn't been a time yet to really bring it out. So I've cut it down from 2 from what it was originally to 1, just because I'm not going to have much access to it as much now. Next is the Shiranui Synchro monster, that's level 8, which is Ygopro, which is when it's special summoned, you can banish one zombie type monster from your graveyard and it gains attack equal to that banished monster's attack until the end of this turn, which is very good to bring out a nice beta that could get over towers. And if it's destroyed on the field by a battle or a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished zombie types and return it to the grave. So this resupplies your Mizukis and allows you for further plays. Then Scrap Dragon, you can combo it with either Beals or the Shiranui, and Beals won't die and you'll still get the pop, but Shiranui will gain its effects and resupply your graveyard with Mizuki. Then level 6s is Go Your Guardian, because Go Your Guardian is Go Your Guardian. Actually, Zombie Skull, the only way I'm going to bring this out is through the Shiranui Yuto, and its effect is very powerful that all face-up zombie types you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. An example of this was the first episode I did this week, which was when Jalgun was trying to destroy all special summon zombie type monsters, all special summon monsters on the field. Zombie Skull protected them all, and it just kind of shut down the whole system then from that on. Zombie Skull is great, and I'm happy we finally get it out. And then finally for the synchros is the Shiranui called Katagami. Katagami is one of the best zombie synchros they've brought out. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can tag one of your banished zombies monsters, shuffle it into your deck, and if you do, change all monsters your opponent controls whose attack is lower than or equal to that monster's attack to defense mode. So that is alright, but you can't resupply Mizuki from what I've seen in gameplay right now, unless there's a rule that comes out that says you can. You will only be able to do it with the 800 monsters or 1050. Depending on what is in their graveyard. So yeah, unless there's a monster with 0 attack points, then I think it should work. And its second effect, when it's banished, you can tag one of your monsters, one of the monsters your opponent controls, and it loses 500 attack. I thought it was a game, but it's not. So that's alright as well. Next was the Exceeds, 1 Zombie Steen, as my last episode with zombies showed. It's a very powerful card because it can negate any face-up card by detaching an Exceed material, sending a card from your hand to the graveyard, and switching it to defense mode, which can be very potent against monarchs who are trying to monarch Stormforth you. Most likely they won't have anything else to further deal with. So Zombie Steen was very good in that. Next is 2 number 23, Lancelot, Ghost Knight of the Underworld. Well, Dark Knight of the Underworld as it is in the TCG. It's an amazing Exceed monster that can attack directly if your opponent have Exceed materials. If it inflicts battle damage, you can destroy a face-up monster your opponent controls by targeting him. And once per turn during either player's turn, when a spell trap on another monster effect is activated, you can attach it to one Exceed material to negate the activation. And that is good, but it's a mandatory effect, so when you bring it out, you don't want to go to like Uni-Zombie the turn after and try and use this effect, because that's going to just be negated and not going to gain any of the plus from it. So I've upped it up to 2 from what I've been doing this week. I took out number 1 and 1 on the Arc, but it's not playable in TCG right now, so European TCG, so right now Vampire Ram is going to be used in my IRL deck. And speaking of Vampire Ram, we have Crimson Knight Vampire Ram, a rank 5, which you can bring out with Isadella. You can detach an Exceed to it, tag one monster your opponent's graveyard and special summon it. And if you do, that monster if you do, only that monster can attack on this turn. So you could reborn one of their great Synchro monsters, which can allow you to get further plus. And during your standby phase, if this is destroyed by card effect, you can resurrect it. And I believe that's the only other effect it is. I haven't used this card much, and summons in face-up defense position. Then Castel Exton are staples in any engine that has rank 4s. So yeah, I hope you like this deck profile. It's a bit of a longer one, but I had so much fun to talk so much stuff to talk about. Zombies are one of my favorite types in the whole of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's always been one of my favorite types, and I'm glad they're giving some new support to it. This is the first draft of it. It will be redrafted, so on and so forth, over the coming weeks as the new Shiranui support comes out. So this will probably be updated in probably 2 or 3 weeks time, maybe. So look out for that, and please leave your comments below if you've got any suggestions for the deck or suggestions for my channel in general, and please like and subscribe if you want to see more content of this variety. Thank you for watching. Matt Durant signing out.